In the ring we stand tall, words of blades that never fall, debate like warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. In the ring we stand tall, words of blades that never fall, debate like warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. Through the noise we cut clean, spirited, mind sharp and keen. With a spark that lights the night, join us in this epic fight. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts clean. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena, there's no chance to escape the fight by law. Dive in deep and search for more. From heartfelt talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts clean. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena, there's no chance to escape the fight by law. Dive in deep and search for more. In the ring we stand tall, words are blades that never fall. Debate like warriors brave, every thought we give and save. Through the noise we cut clean, spirited minds sharp and keen. With a spark that lights the night, join us in this epic fight. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts gleam. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena there's no chance to escape the vibrant lore. Dive in deep and search for more. From heartfelt talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts gleam. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Will be heard. Will be heard.
Spartans! What is your profession?
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to You Know What I'm Going to Say, Spartan Execute Network. This is the show you want to watch, the Spartan Arena. Of course, I'm your host, Ghost of Sparta. My guys are running a little late, so I gotta whip their asses later. So let's see who's in the comments first. We got our new person I have not seen seeking my careers. Welcome, and I hope you like the stream, and I hope you consider prescribing. So, oh, Mariana just jumped in here too. So, what is going on, Mariana? How are you doing tonight? So, this topic is a topic I've been hearing pretty much half my life. I would say, who wears the pants in a relationship? And in modern times, things have changed so much. Now, does a man wear the pants in a relationship? Is it a woman or is it 50-50? If I had to say off my head, talking out of my ass, yes, I would say it's a 50-50 now these days. It's not like what it used to be. The man made the final choices. And yes, it should be some relationships do. How can I put this? Yes, I do think a man does have the final say, but it should be a equal conversation agreed on both sides. If you guys disagree, please ask me tell me in the chat. I will be more okay with that. You see what's going, your opinion. So, what is your opinion? Do the men run a relationship, the women, or is it 50-50? It's a toss up, I want to say. It's a conversation we need to have. Back in the day, I use my parents for example. My dad was the one who made the calls. He was the final say. No matter what my mother said, he was the final say. He was a king of the castle, whatever you want to call it. And that is a issue with some people. Why has it be that way? That's what works for them. And some people is a 50-50. It's a toss up on this one, a big toss up. And it's a hard toss up. It makes you think. Have times changed so much that we don't know where things are going anymore? I think we're living in very dangerous times on these because things have changed so much from the old times, if you want to call it that, or to the times that we disagree how things are going. That is the question. I do have some videos ready. I do have some questions ready. But the questions are, can we have this conversation tonight? And can we all come to an agreement? That is the question. Now, these days, people don't even want to get married. I think we have fallen so far from those times, the old school times that you grew up with a mother in the house, a father in the house, in the same time. The father helped you raise you and everything. Hey, Eric joined us just now. He says it depends on the individual involved. No two relationships are ever alike, and I agree with that. If you were in a relationship and ended and you got into a different relationship, it's not going to be the same. I guess a program, let's say, for argument's sake, the program your relationship is different than the previous one. So we have to keep that in mind. But we have fallen away from communication. I think sometimes a lot of people don't want to get married anymore, and that is sad. It's not what it used to be. Nowhere near the way it used to be. Paul, one of my guests, my co-host of this show and Gray Area, he's one of the few people I would say he did things right. He did it correctly. Hey, Cass, what is going on, my man? How are you tonight? If anybody wants to join this conversation, please put your email in the chat. My rules are always the same: camera on, mic on, and please keep it professionally, clean, and keep the profanity as minimum and the comments. So I'll put this back up. Those are the rules. If you don't obey the rules, you will be kicked off. So that is the question of the night. Is our relationship 50-50? Are they fair? I want to say no sometimes. I don't think relationships are fair or 50-50. Nowhere near. Both sides have to make sacrifices. The sacrifices have to be made. And that's the thing. We need to make those sacrifices to make a relationship work. So, what do we need to do? That is the question. What kind of sacrifice are you willing to make to be a 50-50? In today's world, relationships are evolving, let's say. But the age old question is still hanging out there. We all ask it: who wears the pants in a relationship? Is it 50-50? Is it similar? Is it generational? Is it old school? Is it a man thing, a woman thing? What is it? We drive into a modern relationships now these days that people don't want to get married, are having kids outside marriage and outside the church. And I think that causes problems. I'll explain to you why. Obviously, I got a haircut last week, and I tried this new barber, and this barber was going on and on the whole time I was in the chair about his baby mama's drama shit. One, I don't give a shit. B, that's your problem. And three, you put yourself in that situation. But the drama is so stupid. When you're having kids way too young, kids are raising kids. I personally believe you're not a full adult till you hit 25. That is my personal idea. And that is a personal thing. And Eric says, sacrifice aren't real sacrifice if you have a deep affection for your insignificant other. But that's that's how I roll. And I agree. If you don't have the love for that person, what's the point of making that sacrifice? It's pretty much a waste of time and energy. If you don't care, just end the relationship and move on before somebody gets hurt. There's no point in getting hurt if you're not in it 100%. And let me play the first video. It's kind of funny. And I think you guys are going to enjoy it. Let me find the right button. I follow these guys pretty often. They're pretty funny.
Hey, Dad, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, what's up?
Who wears the pants in the relationship, you or Mom?
You know I do.
What was that?
I said, you know I love you.
Uh-huh.
Mute button got me. He might be around, but it is something to tell. All right, let's get this guy in here. All right, he is the most interesting man in the world. He is my little guy, little Groot. I never get tired of doing that to you, my man.
I know.
How are you doing, brother?
Just waking up from a nap. I was out of it for a few hours, but I'm fine.
I need to start calling you early and make sure you're awake. You know what? We should
Uh-huh.
set a thing on your phone or your watch. When it goes 9 o'clock, it tases you.
Then I'll be the Black Hulk. I'll be real bitter. I'll be like Joe Fixit. Uh-huh.
All right, man. I'll give you the floor for a minute. Give me your opinion about who wears the pants in a relationship, my man.
Oh boy. Here's another
Yes, I'm going
topic
there tonight.
that is meant to be a major trigger figure to me. Ladies and gentlemen, when they ask the question, who wear the pants in the relationship, it always sounds like a trick question, to be perfectly honest with you. The issue about this question is based on what direction the relationship is going to begin with. Because in actuality, you would say the man that wear the pants in a relationship. But every single relationship that you see is just like a case study. It's never the same. There's always something tricky and unique about each and every relationship that you come across or you see. We're in a modern era whereby traditional value is not being respected anymore. We have people coming up with made up idea how the relationship is supposed to be, even though that such idea does not work. But I will say this: if one good example, which is the man supposed to wear the pent up relationship, they put be a set vision, a set goal, a set path. You gotta have the idea of what you expect that relationship is going to be. There's a level of consistency that is required to be the person that wear the pant in the relationship. You gotta be willing to stay on course and never sway to the left, never sway to the right. Being a relationship do take a whole lot of work. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it's more stressful whereby one, the co-pilot who put the goal with you is not going to the same path with you. You may think you're going to the same direction, but it's not. I hear a lot of people talk about this 50-50 thing. This 50-50 thing never works. There's only three types of relationships that work in today's society, but they don't last so much long as it's supposed to be. You have what you call the 60-40, the 70-30, and the 80-20. Those are today modern relationships that people are not willing to admit that is going on. But those are the relationships that only last for a limited time. And we don't want to say that because we look at today's society, what are the most common denominators on these type of relationships? It's not that who wear the pants, who bear the blunt of responsibility compared to the other partner. I believe that we have people who are making up new idea how a relationship's supposed to be, well, who wear the pants. But then again, if you say you wear the pants, that means you're the person who will be responsible. for to be the person who bear the brunt of all the incidents that take place in our relation. You to be one responsible who we would have called the cleanup work, aka janitor. We got men who are not really men, they're more like an adult male. I think it applies to women who are not women but more like adult females. They get into relationships that have no clue what direction they're taking. It's like having that wayward captain who have no clue where he's headed and they have the whole entire crew guessing if they're gonna survive that ship or not. That's how it feels, but I know a lot of people don't get what I'm saying. I'm saying this is what you're seeing right now today time. Just like the 60-40. The 60-40, how long that relationship go last? I don't know, 5, 6 years. Until that 60-40 turned to a 70-30 or 80-20, the worst case scenario, where it turned to a 90-10. That person is walking out the door quicker than you think. Or yeah, people in today's society, they're not willing to be responsible. We should make sure you take all the workload and just make it seem like it's your job. It's your fault. So it's not about who wear the pants, who's the one being consistent about it. It can be a very stressful thing. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. And you can ask yourself this question: what's your relationship foundation based on? I think that's the question you should be asking yourself first before you say who wear the pants. Being in relationships like building a house. What kind of house are you building? I learned these things from talking to elders who are way older than me, who have been in successful marriages that last for more than 20, 30, 40 years or so. They always give me this advice. They wanted me since my youth, my generation, and going forward, we are lost. I asked them why. He said, you guys have no clue what the hell you guys are doing. You just making up stupid bullshit out of your head, thinking God's gonna work. Unless when you have your elders correcting you that that is not gonna happen. It's not gonna go down the path you think. We act like we know it all. And Lord of behold, she wasn't lying. I was curious to why he said what he said, and I sat down with him and said, please, sir, I'm willing to listen, but let me know why you believe my generation and generation after me, we are screwed. We said, first of all, your people are too damn headstrong, stubborn to think they know it all. Then again, he said, we live in a Western world, Westernization, aka in America, whereby it's all about the egotistics bullshit. You got people with big heads who have no clue what the hell they're doing. They think they know it all. It's funny he tell me all these things. Even today at time, I see so many fake gurus who think they have idea what the hell they're talking about. You don't want to hear too. You get caught onto their lies. So he was damn well on the money, and I believed him because I was seeing the same thing myself. I was like, oh shit. I even one time said I was born the wrong generation. I should have been in Mr. Paul Bennett era. Where would I find that person? Or I should have been in Trey Ferg era. I would have found the right person too. I don't know. Because today's era that I come from is jacked up to be honest. It's really jacked up. You got too many egotistic idiots out here think they know what the hell they're doing, but they have no clue. You got people going to relationships with so much trauma, not even trying to resolve the trauma that they went through, but they're dragging their bag into another relationship to get more bags. I ain't trying to be a bag attendant. No. So I know this show we would have find out or see an actual understanding who actually wear the pants. Because the symbol who wear the pants of relationship, but the who bear the responsibility. Actual adult. in the relationship, who is the voice of reason in the relationship, who is the one to be consistent. You talk about biblical level, that always has to be the man, so to speak. But in the time we are living, we're not even sure these men want to be meant to begin with anymore. So as we get on this topic, I hope people will ask themselves this question: what does it mean to be the person who had a parental relationship? Are you able to bear the responsibility? Are you able to be the janitor in the relationship? Meaning, you the guy who fix up mess so the other person screw up, even though they want to be considered like they are all responsible, they're not. Are you one that's standing on a strong foundation of principle and ideology, not some made up bullshit? These are questions you gotta ask yourself. Actually, the young men and the young women who trying to find their way in this crazy seat pool called dating. I don't think we're gonna call it dating. That should be another name because this dating thing is not doing its job like it was meant to be. The idea of dating is meant to empty your pocket and make you broke. It's not financially responsible. I've been saying that for the past, what, 20, 30 years. People think I was crazy. I don't know. Dating wasn't meant what it's meant to be. It's set up and designed just to make you broke, destroy your finances, and destroy your foundation. But you will not understand where I'm coming from because you got to be a person who read a lot, who ask questions, who willing to listen, who willing to take correction, willing to understand. Today we have people with so much ego, so much pride. They're too damn retarded, too damn stupid to take correction. So therefore I call myself another name now. Blackheart. I'm not afraid to hurt your feelings to tell you the damn truth. Either you like it or you don't. But it's all up to you. So that's my viewpoint about today's topic that we're gonna get ourselves into. Who wear the pants in the relationship?
So, David, this sounds like a very personal subject for you. Am I wrong or right?
They went past personal.
What would you call it then?
Is something that I would say is a rude awakening, a wake up call, a crossroad, a moment to stand still for a second and ask yourself the right question you need to ask before you go
Hmm.
forward. I say
Sometimes this
this
question.
because
Go ahead. Go ahead.
no,
I'm
just
sorry.
say I say this because I thank God for the fact that I was taught to have self awareness and self reflection. That's a two skill. Remember I told you this before. That are two major skills that's missing today's society, big time. You have people in relationship got way too much ego, way too much pride, and that's just never. I don't understand how people won't get in a relationship if you're not willing to compromise, you're not willing to sit down and have that conversation. Shout out to Mr. Paul Bennett and his wife. Shout out to Bossman and his wife. Shout out to T. Ferg and his wife, as well as the ancient men of time, our pain, Moses. They were the kind of people I can say, yeah, they're the kind of people I can say they understand what it means to be in a relationship. They understand the dynamic of how the relationship is supposed to work in life. They apply such principles to make it work as long as it's supposed to be. And they have a willing partner willing to come to the table and sit down and have that necessary conversation. I call these people because listen to their conversation, listen to their viewpoint, especially those who allow their spot to come on the panel and speak their truth of how they come about that particular, it'll let you know there is a level of respect. Also, I want to give a shout out, a big shout out to security boss out there in South Africa. She the one, like I say, yes, she grasped it very, very well, and she has been trying to teach people out here in the years before she took her trip or her journey and said it's time for her to leave the U.S. and go to South Africa. I watched people disrespect her many times on this platform while she was out here. Think that she's the
Oh,
full.
not on this platform. On this, on you know, make sure
I'm, I'm,
you.
talk- I'm, I'm talking about YouTube. This
Okay,
YouTube on this platform. And I watch people disrespect her, but they don't really catch on. There's a person who come from experience, she understands it. And she's a living testament on how you have a real relationship. And she reaping the fruit that she have sold into because they're living a life. And even though she living a life and she just shared and trying to get people put about how to achieve it, you got people think that she talking bullshit. They call it having a resume to prove that she put in the work, she put in the effort,
mm,
she applied herself. But we got too many ignorant people not willing to see what am I doing wrong? How am I going about it wrong? Where did I miss it? How can we get back on track? All kind of things. That's why I laugh when I see people willing to just open their mouth and say the most dumbest bullshit. It is sure a level of insecurity from their part. I digress.
let me ask you a question really fast,
Go ahead.
and just listen to the question carefully because it's really weird how I'm going to word this.
Go
What
ahead. I'll be
does
patient.
what does wearing the pants really mean in a modern relationship to real men?
I'm gonna be brutally honest.
Be blunt.
When you mean wearing a pant, you actually being the CEO, you are the boss. You are the person who takes the hit the most in that relationship. Whatever goes down, either be good or bad, you have to bear with the weight regardless on how you feel. You gotta be a person who have a very good temperament. You can't be immature about it. You cannot be willing to throw a tantrum when you don't have your way. You gotta be very collective. You gotta be consistent about it. It sucks, but when you wear the pant of relationship, you have to bear the most responsibility regardless. If that relationship don't go well, first have to hold yourself responsible first. How many guys willing to sit down and say, no, if anything that went wrong, I bear the blunt responsibility because I am responsible for steering this ship. I'm the captain of the ship. If I was not aware what was going on, then I had to sit back and ask myself, where did I miss it? What did I overlook? It's more than being a manager. You have to be able to do an audit and see what went wrong. What did I not compromise? What did I not stop the leak from happening? Ask yourself, are you applying the principle that you stand upon in the relationship, or you force to compromise your values just for the sake of being with that person? Because sometimes there's some place in life you just not compromise your value no matter what. If your value is true, hey God, give me a second. I gotta swap out headset because I have not had the thing charged properly. So you gotta give me a moment. Let me fix this.
There, are you with us?
Can you guys hear me?
Yep, nice and clear.
Ta- Good. Sorry about that. I had to swap out my headset. Had to have on the charger. As I was saying, I didn't want to lose my thought. It's not like when you know that it's like running a business. You're the owner, you're the CEO. If your business make a profit, you're responsible for it. If your business make a loss, you're also responsible for it. You cannot really shift blame. Say it's not my fault, even though part of it can be your fault because you responsible for making sure there's no weight, there's no leak. You have to be responsible to guard that relationship, which your life depends on it. If you really shit about that relationship. And I think when you say real men are men who are raised with principles to live by. They're not raised by their ego or their emotion. We got people coming on these platforms called YouTube and maybe other platform trying to tell what it takes to be a man when they're actually not men, they're actually boys in a man's skin, highly immature. I recorded this 2, 3 years ago. I was on a different channel, different platform, and I called it out. I say friendship is a bunch of idiots. They're not real men at all. Don't know the hell what they're talking about. One individual told me, "Oh no! I can vouch for that. I can vouch for that. I can vouch for them." Yeah. Fast forward to now. What can you vouch about them now? It's funny. You have people who not consistent. They don't see things for what it is. So I laugh when I see things happen for a reason in today's society, and I try not to lose my cool and rub it in, but it was going to happen either you like it or not. When you're responsible, you're the person who had to have a level of foresight and insight. You have to be that security guard to be aware of what is coming your way and how to protect it. You gotta be clear, you gotta be consistent. You got too many people who want to be in relationships so bad because of a certain trauma, but they don't get themselves checked in and get that thing fixed before they get into one. Sometimes we make mistakes bigger than baggage, either because you were trying to escape something that was never really need to escape. Because if you don't, it will tear you up emotionally and mentally. Or there's something that you have not been able to deal with, but you thought that you can suppress it. Not realizing it will come back like a damn viper snake and bite you in the leg and shoot this venom in you and mess up everything you're building. So to be a person who actually wear the pen, you gotta be a principled individual. You gotta be consistent with what you say you stand on. You cannot be flip flopping. Because the moment you're flip flopping in that particular relationship, that one relationship is automatic fall. It's not being destroyed. You will not know it until time after it passed. You will actually say where you went wrong. That's my thought process. I digress.
Now, David, you have kids.
Hmm.
You have grandkids.
Hmm.
You have great kids, right?
I'm not Moses, aka Pain.
I said grandkids, and I said
I got
grandkids.
granted.
I
I know
was
you
going
trying to put
to,
me.
I was going to
Trying to put
go
me.
there next.
First and foremost, I didn't see the cauliflower that came to America. That was Moses, aka Pain. You went there before me.
Bro,
So,
with
and
you
that
African guys, you cannot ever tell your age. You guys look like you're 110 and you're actually 500 years old.
stop. Our pain is 3,000 years old. I'm just 1 or 200 years old. I ain't that old, so don't throw me on the bus like that.
I
Maybe
wasn't
because
throwing you on the bus. I was driving a bus over you. Two different things.
maybe because I take care of my mental health a lot more than most folks. Because if you don't have your mental follicle, you can lose it. This society have a way of stressing you out.
But hear
The
me out for a
world.
second. All right. You have kids, you have grandkids, you have great grandkids, and great great grandkids. But all joking aside, do you think of this topic when you think about them?
This always be on my mind 24/7, 7 days a week, which sucks. I'm concerned about a lot of things. I think a lot of people don't think about the action. What kind of impact do you have that it could leave its own residue if you decide to leave that relationship or you decide to remain in it? Who do you impact negatively or positively? What can they say about you? Are you consistent or are you wishy washy with it? I think that's something people are not willing to admit, but don't want to see it, don't want to say. They're like, no, that's not the case. Come on, let's be real, Peter. How long you been on this YouTube? Like 2 or 3 years so far, 4 years, maybe longer than that. How many people we see that come on the platform and bullshit themselves until they got caught
Oh, all the
and
fucking
try to do
time, bro.
and
Every
and
single
they
time.
try to do a PR more damage control, trying to rewrite the history like it never happened. Like, come on, really? Who are you bullshitters? People are coming on the platform to pretend to be something that they're not. I laugh about this because I was one of the original people who worked on the social media platform called collarclub.com back in the late 90s. That when social media was actually a tool, not this monster that we have today that everybody come here pretend to have an alter ego. I'm always been consistent because I don't let this thing called social media to run my life. What I'm here is the same I'm here in real life. I stay consistent about it. I ain't got
And
no
I know you
choice.
personally. That's true. I'm not. We're not gonna bullshit that. I want to vouch for that.
Yeah, but we have people, oh, you're the talking point mafia. I don't do talking points. I'm thinking what's fact and reality. It's just that you're so close to the so-called matrix. The matrix
The
playing like
question we
an
have to
fiddle.
ask also is it a power couple thing or a power struggle?
It's power struggle. It's not a power couple.
Why you say that?
Those who are in a true sexual relationship are considered to be a power couple because they take the time and sit at the table and have those necessary conversation either every week or every 2 weeks to make sure that they're on course. A lot of relationships is more of a power struggle because you have no clue what the hell you are doing. You have no idea what
Mhm.
you're trying to achieve. You have not sit down and say this is exactly what it is. But it's messed up when you could be that person who trying to stay consistent and you trying to stay caught on the right plan, but the bigger mistake you made is you didn't actually take the time to properly vet who you want to make your partner. That right there hurts. A lot of people not willing to admit that they didn't take the time out to properly vet. They will make all kind of excuses. I can say, yeah, I should have vetted properly, but I blame myself for everything. I have a bad habit of blaming myself first before letting somebody else blame me.
I used to be like that a lot, David, and I realized it wasn't me the problem. Sometimes they're the problem.
Yeah,
So
but
the
you
other
gotta ask.
question.
But,
Go
but
ahead. I'm sorry.
ask,
Go ahead.
you're right, but you gotta ask yourself that question: who made that choice that they not? That's
Okay, I
the
see what you're saying.
harsh. That's the harsh reality. No one wants to take
Mhm.
the responsibility to say, yeah, this was bad, yeah, but no one put a gun on your head and say, stay in it. No one say
True.
go another day. No one say, no one let me take the gun, put it in your head, and take to go another day, do this bullshit. Don't you have free will? Sometimes we gotta ask ourselves, what are you afraid of? Are you afraid to fail? Let's be real. We're in a society that people is fearful about failing. So super fearful. They're willing to what that thing they always say? Yeah, fake it till you make it. That shit pissed me off every time I hear it. Fake it till you make it. How long you continue to fake it till you make it? That thing is very poisonous. It's like a venom with no cure. If you gotta fake it till you make it, by all means, you're lying to your goddamn self. You're not being true to yourself. So I'm telling you the truth, brother. Sometimes we gotta ask ourselves what it worth being that religion long enough than it is for it to bite you, let that venom go across to your vein to the point that you start to realize you've been poisoned. You need to bail out of that. If you don't bail out on time, the damage has already been done. Now the question is, how do you repair yourself from that? How do you learn what you learned from it and make sure it doesn't happen again? This idea of dating, I'm not gonna lie, that's the biggest poison ever.
But do you
I
consider today's world young adults? Well, and not even young adults. Anybody who's in a dating game like myself right now, do you really consider that dating? You may get lucky every so often, but most of the time you we meet somebody online. I'm talking about online. I'm not talking about you met a girl at work or actually at work is a bad idea. You met a woman at a gas station or whatever. You know at the Glee Club or whatever you met her. I'm talking about online dating. When most 95% men who meet women are online. Do you really consider the dating or shopping?
What if I tell you I've been asking myself that question for the past 20, 30 years? What is dating to begin with anyway? I bet you too many people are not willing to admit that is not something you want to engage into because this is what puts you in a situation whereby you rack up too many bodies to the point where you don't know who yourself anymore. On average, let's be real. Anyone who walk into this whirlpool or this cesspool called dating, how much but what the average body count do you have entering this cesspool called dating? 20, 30, 40, 50? How many people become damaged in this bullshit reality called dating? Compared to your elders who didn't go through what we went through, their body count is very, very low compared to what we are going through in today's society. I always question it. I've been aware about it for at a young age. I'm like, why can't I be like the folks who found their love of their life at a young age and they build something and take that journey either good or bad? And they can get old and tell their grandkid like, yo, I'm not gonna lie, life is like this. But when you find that right person, it's worth it. It's never gonna be an easy journey, but it'll be a journey you're willing to enjoy. Today's time, you can't even say you're on a journey. You're jumping from one ship to another ship, or you collecting racking bodies. It get to a point if you are a real man, you start to question yourself, like you're getting sick and tired of this. This is not what you want. It's not what you need. Because I don't think people really go after what we are doing to ourselves when we enter this so-called bullshit called dating. You're more like you're self-sabotaging yourself in the process without even realizing it. If I knew what I know now, and I got the opportunity to go back in time and tell my younger self, I would tell my younger self, be a hermit, keep a low thinking profile, build yourself. Don't be too out there in the open. Let them not recognize you or pick up on what you're doing. Stay completely under the radar when you're ready. Build yourself a crew of counsel who the level of integrity is impeccable. So when you want to find that right person, you're not doing it by yourself. You can bring that person to your counsel so they can let you know that person worth it or not to go on that journey with you. A lot of us didn't even have no counsel. We're willing to go in. You know what I'm saying? That who wear the pants? Let's bring it to today's society standard. If you are a CEO or a boss, and you run a business, every business has what they call a board of directors. Am I correct?
True.
The board of directors put to be a check and balance that keep your business on the right path. So when it comes to a topic concerning what the next agenda is, y'all can talk it out. Y'all can make a vote and see what path you're gonna take. And they're like your stakeholders in that business. They're responsible to make sure that business becomes successful. So when you have that in your life, in case you want to have someone to verify you're making the right choice, you can bring them to the board of your directors. Your council is like your board director. Mark, I know you wear all type of pants. You wear different type of pants of the relationship. You wear the man pants. You wear the hey, how you doing pants. You wear the BG pants. Staying alive. So don't try me right now, okay?
Just do
I'm
me a
gonna
favor
cover
from now on.
what?
Do me a favor. Don't ever sing on my stream ever again
Oh, I'm a
because you
good
almost blew my
singer.
eardrums out.
I'm a good singer. I'm not like the bunch of Scotch record players and
Let me
kill all
ask
the
you a
animals.
question really fast.
Go ahead.
You have one son, right?
hmm
And you have what? Two daughters?
Two, one step, one biological.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. If you feel comfortable, how old are your kids?
25, 14, soon to be 15, 12, soon to be 13.
So as they get older and start dating, do you think of this stuff as a father, as a grandfather? I didn't say great grandfather yet. I was
Let me
being
put it like
nice.
this. If you're a man and you're not thinking about this, then you're clueless as hell. This will be your number one headache and concern because you don't want your son or your daughter to go through what you go through. You want to be the voice of reason. Shout out to Mr. Paul Bennett. Shout out to Mr. R. Payne. Shout out to Mr. Trey Ferg. They say these things a lot because they understand the position of being where they at. But it's just more dreadful when you are a father and your kid like, nah, I can figure this one out. They think that whatever you tell them not going to work in today's society because this is the modern age. That is when they epically fail. If you have kids who is not willing to take any advice from you and think they know more than you, it's safe to say either you failed it as a parent or you got to ask yourself who sabotaged the link for them to have such a bypass down to them. Because you have kids who think they know it all and they end up making a complete mockery of themselves, make a complete fool of themselves. And the parent has to sit by and watch. Okay, shake their head like, where do you go wrong with this? Shout out to a cheeky banter. He have a father who was not letting go, who was consistent with him, way to drop knowledge upon knowledge upon knowledge upon knowledge on him. And Cheeky Bastard said himself, his father said, I will just be the person who give you these wisdom and then to make a decision. Or what path you're gonna choose and how you go about it, but be willing to hold yourself responsible with the decision you make. And people like, man, Cheeky Bastard's not being legit. No, Cheeky Bastard one day will act your man out here. We got two men want to be adult male trying to be men, but never meant to begin with. They don't understand the true concept of man. Shout out to Man Joe, that thing called stoicism. A lot of these so-called men, they don't have stoicism built them. They don't. So it's kind of laughable to see people want to rewrite what a man's supposed to be. But when the true difference of the men have stand the test of time, they don't want to take that definition, they want to make a new definition. So if you have anyone out here want to running out here with a new definition of what a man's supposed to be, I would tell you, ladies, question it. Yeah, I'm throwing the punch out there. I'm calling it out. You have anyone out here claim to be a real man, but his idea of being a man is based on a modern definition, not something that have been consistent to the test of time, I'll be concerned about it. I really would.
Hmm.
Because real definition of men have stand the test of time with God generation with it, whatever we are in. Today's society is just a bunch of bullshit. People like to hear themselves talk. This is what a man is. This is what a man is. But yet the so-called definition never been consistent. You never wonder why. I had elders in my life who were able to drop the nugget, even though I was being like, come on, let's be real. When you're a young adult or you're about to become an adult, you're like a unstable horse. Never heard the term though you break them and you get them tamed. We're like untamed horse. We want to go out there and be like, I can do this. I know how to get it without willing to listen and learn. I was blessed to have elders during the time when I was living in Nigeria who was giving me nugget after nugget. Good thing I remember a lot of them. I didn't let go of them, but it had a way of echoing when you go through things. It kind of like a guiding post to keep you grounded. Today's generation, this modern world, they don't have elders, they don't have counsel. They say, F it, fuck it. I remember we had they had a conversation. We want to connect the dot between the older generation and the younger generation. And the younger generation don't want to hear shit from the older generation. You don't realize when you cut yourself off from the source of information, you fuck your life for the rest of your life. And you go bear the blunt of the responsibility when you get older. And you have your young generation asking you a question. What happened? You can't bullshit yourself out of that. You just can't. You gotta bear the boundary and say, you know what, I fucked up. I didn't listen. My elder warned me. I tell them, fuck them. They know the hell they're talking about. How many so-called men can admit that they fucked up? Listen, real men pass wisdom down to the next generation and continue that process. That's called legacy building. Building a legacy, building a generation. The term you cut from the same cloth. There's a lot of men out here not cut from the same cloth. There's a lot of men, they come from a shred of different. You know how you do your knitting and mixing all type of fabric in together, and they're not consistent matching left and right. That's the kind of men we have in today's societies. Not built for a particular type of cloth that is down to test, go to the test of time and goes and stay strong. You have people matching different patterns that doesn't make no sense. That's today's
Hmm.
man. Instead of wearing the pant, they're wearing the quilt. I know it's like that's a shit, but that's the actuality what it is.
Let me show you the first video. This is a little more on the funniest side. I actually liked it. I actually follow these guys. They're pretty funny. The stupid shit they always do. Uh, nope. Here we go.
Hey, Dad, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, what's up?
Who wears the pants in the relationship, you or Mom?
You know I do.
What was that?
I said, you know I love you.
I thought you get a kick out of that shit. I didn't expect that much a kick. You all right? I
It
want
is
to
safe.
push yourself.
It is safe to say that is a modern relationship.
You tell me?
That's the relationship that's based on happy wife, happy life.
I hate that fucking saying.
Oh, trust me, I know you hate it, but it's funny. But you notice right there and there when the son asked the question and he gave an answer, and the co-pilot was like, "What you say? What you trying to say again?" No. Your true relationship, the co-pilot know who wears the pants. They're not going to check or do a board checking activity. Say, what you trying to say? Your board bigger than mine?
What balls?
Good question. Because when you have a relationship like that, that means you chose to stay in it. For what reason? I don't know. That's not a good relationship. You just you're just trying to make peace. What is not worth to trying to make peace? What if that relationship not benefit you where it's supposed to be? Because let's be real now. Society would take a left turn and you lost the founding pillar that keeps society going strong, it disappear. And it's a free fall. Right? That one who was busting your balls when she go hunt, that she take you out and survive the wilderness? Are you able to know it? That's how we're gonna do it. You start delegating the time. You be responsible for the you be responsible for you responsible. Let's make sure you get it work. Can they do that?
You tell me. Before you move on too much, I want to play the next video. This one is going to be more serious.
In a relationship, all the people involved are important. Wearing the pants in the family usually means making decisions and taking charge. But it's not about one person being better than the other. It's about each person helping one another and respecting each other. In a good relationship, people have different strengths and ideas. They work together like a team, helping each other grow and succeed. They talk openly and understand each other's feelings. It doesn't matter who makes the big decisions. What's important is being honest and trusting each other. Remember, the most important thing is treating each other with kindness and respect. That's what makes a relationship healthy and strong. In a relationship, all the people involved are
That right there is speaking volume. Respect. When you're in a real relationship, there's no question who wear the pants because the person who taking that dinner with you not gonna disrespect you, not gonna ball check you.
Hmm.
I came from an era that ball checking does not exist
You
because
know,
the
I
person
don't mind getting my balls broken by, even my girl, if she's joking around, fine, I get it. I don't
I
mind even
know,
my
but
guy friends. But when they take it too far,
let me tell you something. Let me tell you this so people can be aware why that is not good. Because today's westernized society don't realize this is why you have what we have in today. We have people wondering. Why a man masculinity is being questioned. Why we have so many weird ass men who cannot stand 10 toe down what they believe in. Why we have all type of wishy-washy men. When you in a relationship and there's a lot too much ball checking going on, the younger generation looking at it and they're watching and they're learning from it. There's no level of consistency in that relationship. There's no level of respect in that relationship. When I tell I came from my era whereby that type of ball checking, it's a sign that that person need to be replaced. Because what they do, it affects the younger generation. When you become a parent, when there's no level of consistency in that relationship, you are telling the young generation, don't trust us. We don't know you don't know the hell we're doing. We just we're not really figuring it out. We're just trying to figure it out. We have no clue whatsoever. That sends mixed messages a lot. Paul Bennett knows this very, very well. He's aware of this. That's why he said he's not married for his day. In 28 season, 2017, he called it season 4 because he understand the big picture. On our pay, understand the big picture. Bossman understand the big picture. Trey Ferg understand the big picture. What you say, what you do, has a lot of ramification when you become a parent.
Hmm.
When you're not consistent and you're flip flopping, that generation that you're building up in your home, they they pay close attention to everything you do. I was a kid. Yeah, my parents were witch watchy, but I had uncle or aunt who was not witch watchy. I watched and learned from them. I didn't learn that from my parents. I hang around people who were consistent. They wasn't witchy watchy. They wasn't like that bit. The first video you showed me when the boy asked, "Who dad? Who wear the pants?" That did not happen in their household. There was no ball check on you. Ball check. Just know that you're the one responsible. You know what? Let me just make it real quick to clear, ladies. I know the truth hurt, but I'm gonna keep it completely unfiltered. And I'm putting no sugar, no powder on it. When you with somebody that you take willing to spend the rest of your life with, either you're married or you do some common law, whatever you want to do. I don't care how you want to call your relationship. The moment you are bored checking your man in front of your kids, you the one that destroyed that foundation in that household. You fucked up the dynamic how that family supposed to be. You are the devil in the relationship, not the angel. It sounds harsh, but that it a harsh reality that too many women don't want to bear the responsibility of. And you wonder why you have boys not becoming men, they're becoming something else. I'm being aware to become a person who always constantly be reading. I'm always asking questions. I want to know more than what I know. I don't believe in the modern bullshit or what you call talking points. I'm more into something that put the last to the test of time. It never changed, but always being consistent. So when I laugh about that video because that right there, I don't think people understand. A woman do such thing, she sowed a seed of doubt and corruption in that household. She the one that when you on a ship, you gotta make sure there's no leak. The moment you turn your back, she taking a drill and putting a leak in the ship on purpose.
So, Dave, would you say is it healthy for one person taking leadership versus being 50-50?
Well, let me be honest. If you the man who wear if you consider yourself a man that wear the pants in the relationship, that means willing to delegate. You're the one responsible, but you also willing to delegate, and that's our responsibility according to what that person's ability supposed to be responsible for. This 50-50 thing don't save relationship. It creates disasters. This 50-50 thing is modern society way of thinking. It never stand the test of time. Let's be realistic here. If you were to check the history book, were they talking 50-50 in past generation? Let's be honest here, because that's why I laugh when people talk all these dumb bullshit 50-50. Or sprinkle, dribble, or with other bullshit out there, because we're just making shit up as we go. Because we have been traumatized, we have been damaged, we have been brutalized. We haven't taken the time to recover, nurse our wound, and ask ourselves, where did you go wrong? What we're going to do going forward after this. 50-50 don't build relationship. I just patchwork to keep the boat from sinking. But no one in the captain, no one was willing to bear the responsibility. Each one have a life that willing to jump off the boat the moment you see a leak. You know how you tell the people who stay with the ship that you're a real true captain, you're not gonna bail out. You stick with it. You're like, nah, I'm responsible for this ship. Real captain don't jump off. They responsible, they die with that ship. Which means you build to bear the responsibility. Whatever goes wrong is you hold yourself responsible to. If you survive, you're able to ask yourself, what did I go wrong? So in case you build a new ship, you make sure it doesn't sink like the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Those are fundamental philosophies that you pass down to multiple generations, but it's not being passed down. We're passing down patchwork, just in case of if it leak. Make sure you have a life jacket. Make sure you have that. We have people self-sabotaging themselves in relation in advance, but not wanting to hold themselves responsible for that. That's the true actuality. So when I hear 50-50 or I just laugh. I'm like, that elder of mine, he was right once again. My generation and beyond, they don't have no clue what the hell they're doing. You're just making shit up as you go. Okay, you're not willing to hold yourself responsible to know I fucked up. I shouldn't have taken this path. I should have known better. I should have allowed it to happen. I wasn't consistent about it. I was being wishy-washy about it. I was doing flip-flopping. That's what it is. But I'm not surprised people not really said about being honest with themselves. So this is why we have this shenanigan called dating.
Give me your money. Yo, man. Yo, take it. Here.
So shout out to all the men who decide to stay away from this set pool called dating. No, I'm not doing this. Went and took a journey elsewhere, somewhere else, to find that partner, find that person who willing to build their foundation with. Which is biblical. That's just actually biblical. All these so-called Christian women who coming on these platforms bashing men who want to take their passport and travel. I can tell they don't read the goddamn Bible. They're frauds. They're fraudsters to begin with. They're not women of value to begin with at all. They have no value at all to begin with. They have. I've been saying it for the past 2 years. A real woman have a virtue about themselves.
Mm.
They're cut from a different cloth. They're not empty barrel that make too much noise. My uncle warned me, don't deal with someone who's an empty barrel.
Yeah.
I said, what do you mean
But
by
there,
empty
hang on
barrel?
1 second before you
Go ahead.
continue. And let's get the guy in here, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our president. Mr. President, how you doing tonight?
I'm exhausted, but what's going on?
Oh, because you had a 5 a.m. workout.
That and this F45 circuit thing did a number. I was gassed like in 15 minutes, and I had to try to find a way to get through the remaining 30 minutes of it. So I'm dead right now, man.
I know. Blame your daughter. Blame your daughter for it. She the one
I
that drive.
am. She has full responsibility for this.
And she has another
100%.
workout too, except for you tomorrow, I heard.
No, that's last time. But shout out to her. Now she does this workout 6 days a week, so I got to give her props.
What is it,
Her
like-
and my
like
other
a
daughter. So
CrossFit?
I've had 2 daddy-daughter workouts this week. So Saturday I worked out with my middle daughter, and this morning I worked out with my oldest daughter. She's preparing for med school. So she's been on this program for a minute now, and she's the type of person, once she finds something, she sticks to it. So I got to give her credit. And the thing is, it's never the same workout every day. So it's 6 days a week, but every workout is different. So, but it's kind of like the same time as like the fatigue at the end. I mean, if you don't have the conditioning for it, it's pretty brutal. But you're not going to build muscle on it, though. That I'll tell you. Unless you haven't done anything at all, it's not meant to build muscle per se. It's not for hypertrophy, but it definitely gets you into a certain conditioning level that at this age I don't need. So I think I'll stick with my strength training. But
Who
yeah.
do you think they got it from? Who do you think they got that behavior from?
Well, if they had it was latent. They've shown it as of late. My middle daughter, she started taking her fitness seriously this year, and my oldest one. I mean, she's done different classes, but she's the type you got to push her. Like she's got to she would never work out on her own. So she's got to be in an environment where you tell her what to do and she does it. But even then, she needs to be in certain places. She can't work out with everybody. She doesn't even like to work out with me. Because even my workout is still going to be harder than in some respects than what she does at the F45. But but anything like that you do for the first time, and if you're not prepared for it, the body, you have no conditioning for that type of activity, you're going to tap out, and that's basically what I did. So,
what kind of workout is it? Is it like a CrossFit? Is it, or is it like a
no,
circuit?
it's basically you have multiple stations, and each station you have an activity. So you can do an upper body movement, or you can do a lower body. So one station might be squats with some kettlebells, or it could be some overhead presses with those, and then you go to another station. It could be like a staggered squat or a single leg squat, and then the other could be a chest press. And then you go to another station. It could be a bicep curl using a medicine ball, or it could be something else. So it just goes. But basically every set is 40 seconds straight. You have to do as many as you can within 40 seconds, and then you get a 20-second break, and then boom, either go to your next set or the next station and then do that, and then you just kind of go around in circles, different cycles and whatnot. So it's definitely it's a little awkward to get used to.
It's
But
CrossFit, but
yeah.
it's a different variation of CrossFit. But
Yeah,
it's more
but
like
CrossFit does like chin ups and pull ups and squatting. I mean, like I said, squatting stuff is like you're using very light. The weight wasn't hard at all. It wasn't about the weight. It was just the repetition of it all. And then,
But
like I
it's still
said, just not getting. I do a good set of squats. Like I'll do like 250 on a squat. I'll rest for like 3 to 5 minutes before I do another one. So but this one, it's like no, just you just got to keep it going like all the time.
Go.
Yeah.
It's
All right.
it's CrossFit, but it's more on the endurance side of things because it's more like real life endurance. Because I watched a video not too long ago that he had these bodybuilders was shocked that guy who was smaller than them able to lift the same weight they're lifting, but have a smaller frame because they're building their core strength.
Yeah.
And I'm building
Well, like I said,
muscle. So
any strength protocol, it's all about. I mean, fitness is specific. There's no such thing as fitness at the end of the day. You basically it's simply adapting to a task. That's what essentially fitness is. So again, if I took the same trainer, the instructor, and the one thing I know for sure, that instructor who did the class, there's no way he does the class on occasion. But that's not how he built his body. I mean, he's kind of built a little bit like a small bodybuilder. There's no way he built his body doing that routine. It's impossible. So again, you have to he's getting his. I know kind of where he's getting his grind in, and he kind of does this as sort of his job per se. But you don't get jacked on this program. You just don't. And just looking at the people in the classes, for the most part, some of the guys are fit, but again, you're not getting. You can't get jacked on it. It's a very.
I always wonder how CrossFits are always jacked and ripped, because from what I have experienced with CrossFit, I haven't ever taken a class, but from what I've seen, it's a lot of cardio in it.
Yeah. And cardio is, it's catabolic to muscle. If you do too much, that's why again, you really can't stay jacked and do CrossFit at the same time. It's tough. And like I said, in most traditional CrossFit, it is much more strength exercise. Like you're squatting real weight. You're not just doing a bunch of reps. You're doing pull-ups and chin-ups and stuff with using your total body weight. I mean, most people can't even do chin-ups. So the fact that you're able to do that, yeah, you have to have a certain amount of upper body strength, or you have to be very light, as you're doing it. But you don't see too many 250, 300-pound guys doing chins. It just, it doesn't happen that often.
All right, Paul. Tonight's topic is who wears the pants in a relationship. You've been married for several seasons, like you say. So I want to get your opinion on this as a married father man.
I typically don't like the question. You leave it on the thing. You don't have to segregate me like that.
But you don't like being,
no, I don't. Not at this hour. I got bags on my eyes right now.
Aww. I'm gonna get you a monster.
I understand the concept. Obviously, when I made my document, I kind of put in there, certainly manual leadership. But you gotta be careful what you ask for at the same time, because again, heavy is the one who wears the crown. So a lot of people, especially in this manosphere space, they talk about being the head or they want to wear the pants or whatnot, but you're not ready to wear the pants. So you can't be, what you can't be what is required. That it certainly takes a certain level of patience. See, a lot of people want control and power, but they don't understand patience. They don't understand empathy. They don't understand, and just kind of letting people be who they are. I mean, this idea, we have these absolutes that have been defined in these spaces. Like they say 99% loyalty is 100% disloyalty. I think that's pretty stupid. I mean, it's like my wife is pretty submissive, relatively speaking, most of the time. That doesn't mean she's submissive all the time. And I got to learn how to ride that out. Does my wife do everything I tell her to do or what have you? No. But she generally, for the most part, lets me take on the big decisions, and anything else that's negotiable, we talk about. And we try to come to a consensus or a conclusion, or I may have to modulate in terms of how I do things in order to make sure that, because the important thing is the relationship itself. So I can be the authoritarian and dictator, and again, you hear these terms, benevolent dictator and stuff like that. I mean, it's just that those talking points I just think get old over time. If you want to get married you're going to be married for a while, unless your wife is very, very special and compliant like that. And again, my wife has been relatively compliant, relatively speaking. It's enough that I can live with it. And so the question I got to ask myself is, am I going to wreck a relationship because she doesn't do everything I say necessarily when I want her to? So again, I don't even necessarily like the question per se, but I certainly hope at this point in the relationship that I think I've earned the right and the trust to make the calls. And like she's saying, you talk about who wears the pants, but leadership, people have to let you lead them. Like I said, this isn't slavery. So if she wasn't a good partner, it's like, I don't care how good a coach you are, any sport, football, basketball, baseball, again, if you don't have the players that buy into your system or buy into your methodology or mindset, it's not going to work. because these folks have agency, and especially now, especially with no fault divorce and whatnot, they got a right to bounce. Or just like a player, he has a right to leave and go to another team if he wants to. You're not. This isn't back before free agency where basically you were with your team for your career unless they traded you. Those days are long over. That ended in 1970. Shout out to Kurt Flood, who took a sacrifice for all professional athletes because he refused to be traded to another team. He sat out, but his Kurt Flood case, even though he didn't win personally, it cost him a lot. It cost him his career and great sacrifice. His fight, though, led to free agency, where there were terms and conditions put in where players have a lot more control over where they want to go. Well, in marriage, there's free agency. So, again, if people aren't happy, they got a right to leave. So, again, unless you're going to put that clause back in like they did with baseball or whatever, unless you're going to do that, again, this is a negotiation. I tell people this all the time. You have to go in. You have to know what you want, what your expectations are, what you expect from them, and they have to buy in. And if they don't, or if it changes at any point in time, it's not going to last. So I went in with a set of expectations that she agreed to. We've had our turbulent times, like I said, especially having 3 kids in 4 years. Yeah, that's going to have a lot. That's going to put a lot of strain on a relationship. But again, I had to modulate. And then she went through different stages. She went through menopause. That had a deleterious effect on our sex life. So again, am I going to throw it away, or do we have to negotiate? And even sometimes, even today, we still have to negotiate some things. Because I'm still like, I don't know, because I'm fit. Sorry for being fit at age 55. I apologize for that. Sorry, my testosterone and stuff. I got the body of a 25-year-old. I apologize for that. But yeah, I still want it. Like, I can do it every day and twice on Sunday if it was available to me. All right. She ain't that anymore.
Hello there.
So my thing is, but we negotiated. We got a deal. But if she's like, look, you got to sleep with me every time I ask for it, I mean, look, you may have it like that, or your wife might be like that. She might be like, look, it doesn't matter if he wants it, just give it to him. That's cool. If you got it like that, I'm not hating on you. But I'm not envious of you either. We worked out a deal. And again, I keep going back to this idea of seasons. Because every season you have to treat individually. That's why I said you can't depend on what happened in years past. My wife isn't the same person she was when she was 40. She had a lot more energy. And like I said, menopause hit. So we had to work out another deal. Before, I barely had to ask for it. It was just like, boom. She was always ready. Well, them days are kind of over. So, and it's not so much an idea of the enjoyment of it. It's just getting the mindset, getting things going. Once it's going, hey, it's fine. It's great. And ironically, the scary thing is, it's like once it's over, it's almost like it never happened. She's like, I'd be like, remember what we did last night? She's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. No, I don't know. That wasn't me. That was Lakeisha last night. That wasn't me.
That was bad.
That was Lapita. No, that was Shanae last night. That wasn't me. I don't know what you're talking about. So I gotta do all that work again and get you going. So again, it's a constant work. It's constant communication. It's constant cooperation. Someone actually, King asked me on the show the other night. He's like, what do you think, key to the relationship as far as communication and whatnot? I say it's 50% communication and 50% cooperation. And that's generally how it's been. You got to, because you can do all the talking that you want to, but if people aren't willing to kind of capitulate and do what is required for the relationship, it's not going to work. So at some point there has to be, okay, boom, what I got to do. So it's half and half. Yes, communicate what you want and try to learn how to communicate in a way that they can get buy-in, because sometimes it can't be, well, because I said so. This isn't my kid. And even now, I got grown daughters in the house. I don't know if I can even apply that right now because I said so. These are grown women I'm dealing with. So I have
I feel sorry
to.
for you sometimes.
What's that?
I feel sorry for you sometimes. 4 women in one house.
Well, again,
You're
so
outnumbered.
I've had to learn some skills
Yeah, hide in your office.
in terms of no. I just need to know how to talk. It's about how to talk, and every one of them is an individual. I got to talk to them in the level and in the way that they understand. They're very different personalities. And if I want to have an effective relationship with them at these ages, then I need to know how to speak to that particular thing that, that I know that they will understand. I can't talk to one daughter the way I talk to the other one. Again, but the people get lazy with that, and it's like my way or the highway stuff, and you wind up just wrecking relationships because of it. So you better develop some empathy. That's where empathy comes in. You got to understand how they see the world. That doesn't mean you have to agree with it. Trust me, my middle daughter, she's different. But if I want to stay connected, then I have to adapt. I have to learn how to communicate and how to do things on her level. She needs certain things from me. And again, cooperation. I said, okay, bet. Here we go. What do you need? All right, you need me here. You want to meet in this fashion. You need to do this and that. Fine. What do we got to do? And so I constantly kind of earn, not only I earn their trust and I earn their respect because I'm willing to adapt or I'm willing to meet them where they are.
Mm-hmm.
And
halfway, right?
so what's that?
Meet them halfway kind of thing?
Halfway, sometimes. Well, see, that's the thing. Well, see, that to me, that goes back to what David was saying before I jumped on. There is no such thing as 50-50. You may have to go 90% over to the other side in order to get the job done, but it's all about what you want.
Let me ask
My
you a
relationships
question.
are such that I'm willing to go to whatever I got to do to make a good thing happen.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be 90-10 at times. Either way. If God forbid, if something happens to me, like physically where I can't work, well, guess what? My wife, she's going to be the breadwinner. So then what is it then? So again, you have to, again, the ability to adapt and roll with it. There's got to be, there's core values, but you got to have some flexibility that those values should include the value of adapting. If you look at military, you know a lot of guys in the military, Pete. They always say it's part of their code. Adapt, improvise. That's part of what it is. No soldier is supposed to be this robotic, non-thinking for himself, only takes orders. Those days are long gone. You haven't seen that stuff since Vietnam.
Oh, even more than that, like World War II, I would say.
Well, I'm just saying, but the big stuff came out because that's when everything came out. Because up to Vietnam, everybody thought that America was just the greatest nation on earth and God's country and all that kind of stuff. All the dirt came out in Vietnam. Harry Carey and I think there's a major case that went on. We had the sergeant got prosecuted and stuff because he told the soldiers to delete all these people in the village or whatever, and he got a jail time. I mean, that changed everything. So again, the idea is when you're in the battlefield, if it doesn't fit like what you were taught or even what you were even told, you better have some common sense to know how to adapt to a situation if you want to have a better outcome. So again, every year it's the same thing. We even my wife and I, we were having a little spiff even up. Now my anniversary, the season ends next week. 29th will complete the 28th year. We had a little spiff a few days ago that we worked out. And now we back on task and we back on, we back to normal now. The thing that we've worked on over the years is not letting weeks go by and stuff not worked out. So again, you have to, again, always have that there. So again, if you want to say generally speaking, Yeah, I wear the pants, but again, at the same time, she allows me to wear them. Most of the big decisions are mine, in part because also she doesn't want to make them. She recognizes that, look, some things it's like I ain't built for this, but he is. So why am I gonna let try to influence what he does or whatever. He's got the shoulders for this, and I'm gonna let him make the call.
Like right here, Eric has a good point too, and I missed it by accident. I do apologize, Eric. I don't think a man being a control base is a healthy. Yeah, healthy. Sorry, it's been a long day. For a relationship, relationship either. If I'm sorry, if he looks down upper his lady in a
As an indentured servant instead of as the
thank you,
love of his life,
it's
that's
just been a long
failed
day,
up.
dude.
So again, it for what I've seen for long marriages, it typically doesn't work that way. No matter what the manosphere is painting as what the rules are. And these guys, listen to these guys like Tate and all these guys who are like the heroes of these young single men. Like this is the image of manhood. Good luck with that. But generally she lets me do most of what I want to do. Everything else is negotiable. And that's kind of how it works. At least it works that way with us. And we're able to hey, True North, I'm still waiting for my samples, man. My bold and beautiful, beneficent, benevolent bald brotherhood of the BMU network. We're still waiting on samples of your bald care. So I'm still waiting on that, sir. So I know you got
Till
some stuff in the
then,
hopper. So I'm looking for it.
Truth North is one of the best beer companies out there. I trust him more than anything. I buy his products all the time. Definitely check him out, guys. He has some awesome products. True North, if you can drop your website in the chat, that'd be great. So everybody can go to it. Please and thank you. Let me ask you this question. Paul, I asked David this earlier. So the question I asked earlier, what does wearing the pants really mean in a modern relationship to a real man? That's a rough one, I know.
I don't think it's terribly different than what it's always been. Based on what I said. You actually had Anthony Mackie. In fact, it's actually going to be a topic on the barbershop tomorrow. Maybe I'll probably join that one. And he talked about if you haven't watched the interview, it was on the Pivot podcast. Anthony Mackie, the new Captain America, Sam Wilson. He had a long interview. He's got 4 kids. And he talked about how he raises his sons. And he talked about how, a lot of these boys aren't being raised to be men. But what I liked about what he said is that he described he defined what it was to be a man. And so the first thing he talked about was, one is that you give respect. That's why everybody you meet, you say yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am. You open doors for ladies. You protect your home. His oldest, he said, look, you're in charge. So he gives responsibility to his kids, especially to his oldest. Because it's like, you're going to be the leader. When I'm away, you're the man of the house. So again, he sets the expectation, and then not only does he set the expectation, he also gives them responsibility. So again, respect to all, respect from all, be a gentleman, and protect yours, protect your house, protect your what's yours. So I think that is, I like the way he defined manhood in that instance. And I think that would be something that if men had that kind of mindset, now again, you're still going to have to find the right woman. So again, none of this works. Just like I don't care if you coach, GM, whatever, none of this works if you don't have the right players. So if you don't have that, none of what I'm saying is going to work, or at least the ones who are willing to be good players. So again, I can't say, well, what is wearing the pants looks like in modern times. And again, I don't want to use this word because, again, a lot of people don't like to hear it today. People tell them they hate the word partnership. But it's got to be a cooperative. Call it whatever you want. If you don't like partnership, call it whatever you want. But it has to be based on, again, expectations and your willingness to follow them. And so that's, as far as what does it look like today? Like I said, I think those things don't change. Again, 50% communication, 50% cooperation. Is the person you're with, are they cooperative? They don't have to be a finished product, because trust me, again, my wife and I were not finished products. We're still not. But again, are you be willing to do, for the sake of the relationship, the things that make the relationship go? And it doesn't matter who has what role. I cook every Sunday in my house. But you got these shows talking about, oh, well, in this culture, it would be an offense for a man to fix his own plate or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, fine. That's in your culture if you want to. If I'm less than a man because my wife doesn't cook me a meal and bring it to me on a silver platter every day or whatever, if I'm less manly because of that, fine. You can live in that world if you want to. Or you can go marry one of them if you want to. If they're willing to marry you, go ahead. But again, so I like I said, putting your expectations on the floor, and the only thing you're looking for is you're looking for somebody who wants to jump on that train with you. And yeah, it can get, sometimes you may get contentious or whatever, but again, as long as you guys stay in the train, you guys are willing to stay on the train together. Then it's just about talking to some stuff, work some things out, and be like, okay, the stuff that's bad, get rid of. The stuff that's good, do more of it. I mean, I don't know how to paint it any more than that. But if you want to be the leader, then you have, leadership is about ability and earning the trust of those who you are leading. But if you're going to be inconsistent, if you're the type, if you're a man, you don't have a steady job. If you're not emotionally stable. Now, again, you don't have to necessarily be a stoic. I mean, I recognize stoicism. I know Mandrell, he talked about stoicism. Mm-hmm. You don't have to be that, but at least you can't let your emotions dominate your decision making. At the end of the day, I mean, all those 9-10 points of stoicism, you can go through that if you want to. But again, you let logic and reason govern your decision making, not your passions. And it's not wrong to be passionate, but you cannot let those passions start to interfere with making good decisions or holding on to things longer than they should have. Again, the work that I've had to do over the years is letting a 2 or 3 week argument and a silent treatment try to keep it within 24 to 48 hours. It took a lot of years to do that. I am a classic cave dweller. If I'm upset with you, don't talk to me, don't touch me. I don't want to be in the same room with you necessarily. But I've learned over time, at least, even if I'm upset with you, I'm still learning to at least get my points on the table within a reasonable length of time, hopefully less than 24 hours. That this is why I'm upset. This is why it upset me. And I may still be in my feelings for a minute, but you're going to at least know what's going on. That took time.
One thing I learned over the years is communication is a big thing. If you have good communication, you can probably fix most of the problems. Not everything, but most of them.
No, it's not going to work.
You don't think communication is
what I just said? What I just said. I can't stress this enough. Okay. Communications only half. But again, you can't go to a soda machine or a vending machine where it's $1 and you only got 50 cents. I don't care how good your communication is or how often you communicate. If you don't have that extra 50, even if you had 75 cents or 90 cents, it's not going to work unless there is a willingness to cooperate. So again, communication is important, just like the willingness to do is important. Just like in a car, the engine's important. The carburetor is important. The fuel injection is important. The brakes are important. The steering wheel is important. You would not dare get into a car and try to drive it if any of those systems were not there. So again, yeah, I mean, it's a piece. It's got to be there, but you got to be willing. And I've seen people communicate. That's why they go to therapy, been in therapy for years, going to marriage counselors, going to all these people for years. And it hasn't gotten them anywhere. Or every time they try to get into something, it's the same old stuff. You're arguing over the same thing. And at some point, someone's going to have to step up and say, all right, enough. This isn't working for anybody or whatever. Look, I'm willing to do something different. Are you willing to do something different? Are we going to do something different? We're just going to keep going around, going back and forth over stuff.
But Paul, if you don't have that communication, you cannot have that talk with somebody. Listen, let me meet you 95% or whatever the case is, give and take.
And you could be willing to give 95%. And if that 5% is still held up because that other person is just in their evil space and they don't want to move, you can do nothing about it.
And I agree. That's why I said earlier, you cannot fix everything.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not saying that communication is important. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not, again, sometimes the way it's thrown out there, communication is very important. As if all these other things are not as important. That's what I'm just saying. That's why I like the car analogy. Like I said, fuel system, brake system, engine, transmission. Which one of those are you taking out of the car? You better have all of it. And everything. You getting into a car with that kind of stuff, would you get into an airplane, a jet, passenger jet that's 95%?
Am I jumping out of the plane?
No, I'm saying, are you going to fly in the plane? Oh, it's 90% good. We went to the checklist. It's 90%. No, I ain't getting on it. Plane, hundreds of checks before that thing gets off the ground. You better make sure everything is right before you get on that plane. So I'm saying that, yes, communication is a very important piece of the puzzle, but it's still a puzzle nonetheless. And at some point, like I've said in earlier shows, there's a lot of people that can be reconciled. David, call me crazy for this. And I mean no disrespect whatsoever. I think even in your situation, that if the parties involved can come to their senses, stuff can be right. I think a lot of people could, but they won't because they're so into their energy or their stuff. And it's like, it just won't reconcile. Like I said, I'm telling people, when we had a wife school on, it's like, look, it might be 10, 15 years from now. But you could be like, look, you and your husband or your ex-husband or whatever, y'all can come to a point to say, you know what? We don't have a lot of time left. And we can be all up in this. We can be all up in this, energy or whatever. But what are we doing? We're going to age out. We're going to age out and die. Or maybe we can have some productive and fruitful years left.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you need that distance in order to do that. But again, after, like I said, shout out to brother JT, got back with his wife. We're working to get back with his wife after all that drama that he talked about over the years. So again, cooperation. You got to be willing to say, look, we're gonna try something different here and stick to it. And whatever terms you work out. And again, if you need to do that year to year, then by all means treat it that way. Just see if we can do this for a year. Don't think 30, 40 years down the line. 1 year, can we do this? And at the end of the year, do an assessment. Did it work? Are we good? Yeah, I think that was a good year.
Mhm.
Let's sign up. Let's do it again.
Paul,
And
look at
do
my
it better
parents.
next time.
Look at my parents. They separate after 40 years over a goddamn steak.
Yeah.
How stupid that sounds. Yes, I said steak, whoever's watching this. After 40 years, I still don't understand it. I can't wrap my mind around it, to be honest with you. I know there's some other situations too, and that was
Yeah.
on its
And
own.
yeah, absolutely. And it means happened in my family. I got family members who just got wrecked up because, and the crazy thing about it from the outside, I'm like, you guys aren't winning being apart. You guys were so much better together, but you guys couldn't appreciate you guys being together. So this works me personally. What y'all had is as crazy and from the outside as dysfunctional as your household was. It worked. But you thinking, I want something better. I want something. You ain't got better out there. And it ended sadly. I'm not going to get into deets or whatever, but it ended very tragically. And it didn't have to. So again, this who wears the pants. I think cooperation is a beautiful thing. I think partnership can be a beautiful thing or whatever. But if you got one head or at least a delegation of duties, that's again clear it out. I'll take care of this. I'll pay the bills. I'll take care of all of this. You take care of that. We good there? You put your bills on the table. I'll take care of the big ones here. You take care of these booms over there. Or if you got it like that, look, I take care of all the bills. Whatever you work out.
Whatever
Say,
works
like I
for you.
said, I don't buy into this model of what a relationship is supposed to. I've seen all kinds of models. Like I said, I know people, the husband is home and the wife works. It seems to be working. But again, it's terms that they negotiated. So yeah, man. So what it looks like today is you got to have those things. What we gonna do, and are we willing to do it? And are you going to be committed to that thing that we do for the time that we say we're going to do it?
And I agree with that, Paul. I agree 100%. Can I consider that your final thought then?
Sure. Oh
All
yeah.
right. Do you want to say something else before we put David on?
No, I'm good. I think he wanted to get on and say something. So you go.
No, because I would say that I'm glad my big brother Paul said what he said, because I remember saying it before. You ever want to delegate? I always say that word, delegate, delegate. You cannot take all the workload on yourself alone. You have broad shoulder. There's sometimes you may have that co-pilot with you who good at something. You can delegate some task to them as well. And the guy who actually in the new Captain America movie, when he mentioned how he raised his son, I'm always teaching my kid that the oldest will be the leader if
Mm-hmm.
I'm not around. You hold
Facts.
yourself
Yeah.
responsible.
Yeah.
You make sure and that's something that's not being taught in a lot of households these days. This is something I'm very aware of. The sense of responsibility, self-reflection, self-awareness, and accountability. Those are four things that are not taught in household today no more. Accountability, responsibility, self-awareness, self-reflection. If you're not willing to be that type of leader that in case of anything going, you bear the blood. You say, you know what, it's my fault. I dropped the ball. I should have seen this coming. I should have prevented it from happening. Instead, you have people that want to point finger. It's your effing fault. Like I'm not really here for that. I'm not really down for that. We have people that come from culture and they grew up in a culture, meaning if it's a particular culture that has been passed down for more than 100 years, and maybe that's how their family have gotten to where it is, and that's what they know and that's what they believe in. I'm not going to doubt those people, but it's that what kept their lineage, their home, their name, and quote unquote village. Because when you think about building a family, you're building actually a village. You like it or you don't. And those villages can be the kind of people that can protect your environment. But we in a society, there's no village anymore. Everybody in our own individual island. I wonder why we don't have that respect for one another these days because of that individual mindset. Mr. Paul, I know you believe it when I said that's one of the main reasons why you're not going to have that black excellence ever again because when you're all about individualism, you're not willing to look out for one another. You're not willing to know let's build something together. Even though that same mindset you see in a relationship is also apply when you try to build something that's worth living down for your kids and your future children. Legacy. The Black Wall Street was actually a real legacy builder. There are people from different walks of life that come together and we need to build something so that we can pass it down to our children so they don't have to bust their ass as much as we did. But we had these conversations before in the past concerning that type of community. But in comes to relationship, I have to agree with the Paul better because they're not. I said before, every relationship is not the same. The one that goes further are either the 60-40, the 80-20, or the 70-30. It's only rare when it goes to 90-10 when there is a principle be upon. I tell you, the person has to be a principle person. It can be what you watch with your emotion. It can be flip floppy. Yeah, technically, life is very weird. You could be the breadwinner and something happened. Do you have someone who got your back regardless of that? And Marcus, I've been speaking the truth for the longest. I don't know what you're talking about, so I could really care less. I only stay consistent about what I believe in because this is something I've been taught. Being a man is not only be responsible, but willing to admit when you're wrong, willing to delegate, willing to say, I can listen to someone's advice and say, you know what, that is a good advice. Let's try that. I've done that before when I was a team leading past job. If I have a team member in my team who got a good sound idea, I'll say, you know what, let's tell the team how this idea is going to work and see if we can implement it. And we figured out the kink and the bug behind it, we work along with it. That's how you become a real leader. Everybody want to be a leader. I'm the boss, but don't know how to delegate. Don't know how to lead the team to the winning game. Just want to throw their weight around. Seriously. That's straight bullshit. I can listen to anybody and pick up the idea. I listen to Mr. Paul, I listen to Trey Fur, listen to Uncle Ricky. Real men who test went through the test of time and they are proving their worth. This is how I became where I am. I don't listen to idiots. Sorry, no offense. I don't do well with idiots. But one day they say the next day they're not consistent, and like the Paul Bennett said, they're too emotional. To let their emotion disrupt their decision making skills. And I'll say this: if you're not logical, if you're not tactical, if you're not practical, if you're not biblical, that's how I look at things. I remove my emotion out of my decision making skill because you gotta make sense on multiple levels before I make that decision. I say if it's not logical, it's not practical, if it's not biblical, if it's not rational, I'm not doing it. It has to make sense. It has to add up. But you have a lot of men that can't even do that. They're in their panties. Yes, I say it. My big brother here just says some people don't know how to make decisions without their emotion attached. Wah, wah, wah. No, 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 no. Calm down. Take a step back. Think this through. Figure out what is the problem here. Look at the pros and cons. Ask yourself, is this going to work? Now, what if it don't work? I will need to better they burn on the responsibility for making that such a decision. How many men ask themselves that question? These are things I've been saying for the longest. I could care less if you want people to take a job, but I've been my kid would tell you about me. I stay consistent. Mr. Paul Bennett had to stay consistent with his kids. Yeah, the reason why he the way he is right now at his life, and he found the right partner to build that ship. He's able to delegate. Not everything he do, but he take whatever he can do, and you know that his wife is good at that. Okay, I'll leave her because this her strong point. This what she's good at. She's able to delegate. When I say these things, people say, "Oh, it's talking point." No, it's not talking point. It's real reality. It's just that I don't know what you got stuck up in your ass. You need to take it out first before you start talking to me. Okay, I don't do all this. This is why I listen to my brother Mandrell, the Paul Bennett, Uncle Ricky, Trey Fur, R. Payne, and I also listen to Security Boss. Because Security Boss always, one thing I like about the Security Boss, she have nothing but high respect for her man. Because she say he's my leader. He who I report to. I say these things because I've seen this for years. I'm not wishy-washy about what I say, what I stand on. I've been consistent. It's just that some people that have a short attention span, they pay attention to details. I'm not the one. I don't blame Mr. Paul, but I don't like to answer if who wear the pants. It's all about, are you responsible enough to say, you know what, this is not right. We should walk this back. Let's change this. Are you a person of principle and foundation? Are you consistent about what you stand on, what you believe in? That's why I speak the way I speak about certain things. It's all about the principle I apply to myself. If I'm wrong, I judge myself. I beat myself up more than anybody else. I hold myself accountable for that. That what mean to be a man. How to live out self-awareness, self-reflection, hold yourself accountable and be responsible. It's part of being stoic, but you need to admit when you're wrong. Because you know what? This should never have been this way. This could have been done better in a different way. And you're making these sound decisions without emotion attached to it. Because you're clear about what you stand on. You're able to check all the kink in that plan from left to right, from front to back. And you know what? This is not gonna work. Let's scratch. Let's do something different. Or you're willing to sit down at the table and have that conversation. Put all your card on the table and say, okay, how you go about it right now? Do you have a different angle? I like to hear your view. I like to hear your point. Yeah, I'm gonna land the plane, but that is my final. Because like I said, this is like I said, this topic is not that simple. It is not. That is my final thoughts.
This is a difficult topic for a lot of people to speak about. Dave is one of them. Paul, I wanted Paul to come in a little earlier, but obviously he's busy. But he gave us a lot of different points. That's one thing why he's my VP. That's why he's the president. Like, he has a lot of good points. But let's get over a quick schedule update and let's call it for tonight. So Saturday, we're talking what if John Cena wasn't around? A world without a champion. Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting conversation for all three of us. Now on Saturday we're talking about drugs and alcohol, was it?
No, we're talking specifically about alcohol and alcoholism.
Thank you. And on Wednesday we're gonna be going over Ghost of the Shell. Good luck on that one, David. And next Thursday we'll be going rebuilding a community step by step. Except
Oh
that, David,
Lord.
you got anything?
On building the community, whew, I wish Uncle Ricky can come over here. That's one C word I don't like to dig in no more because I ask myself, are we in a community or are we in a settlement? Which one is it?
Paul, you got any last words?
No, I'm good.
All right, guys. As always, this was Spartan Institute Network. I am Ghost of Sparta. He is Little Groot. He is the president, Mr. Paul. Stay fresh, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.